Hey everybody, what's up? This is Ronnie coming to you today with a video, and we're gonna talk about clothing. Yeah, I know. A lot of clothing haters out there. They don't like the cloth game, but I'm all about the cloth game. So what it's gonna come down to is I'm just gonna talk to you about what we did in sales this past week was very surprising. Not even gonna lie, our sales were actually pretty good this past week. And it was really surprisingly well. I mean, maybe it had to do with listing last week. I don't even know anymore. I mean, who knows? But it's good. So getting into it, first 7 days of the month, look back at the days. On the first, we had three sales for 193. On the second, we had two sales for 230. The third, three sales for 219. On the fourth, fifth, and sixth is where we really had some good days. The fourth, we sold 5 items for $643. On the fifth, we sold 5 items for $607. On the sixth, we sold 8 items for $500. Yesterday, 4 items for 162. Why does 162 seem like so bad when technically it's not a bad day, really? Anytime you're making money, it's a good day. What's up, John? What's up, Bubba? How you guys doing? So, I mean, overall, it was 30 items for the 7 days for $2,558. Comes to an average of 365.43 a day, which, hey, if we keep this pace up for the month, it's 11,328.33, which is not bad at all, I will have to say. And the average sale price so far this month is actually pretty high, $85.27, which gotta love that. But I'm gonna show a few of the sales. But there's no money in clothing, really. Don't want to do clothing. No money. No money. See if we can do this, because last time I did one of these, I screwed it all up. But I think I did it. So here we go. Here's some of the items we've sold. Some of these items have been today. Like today, we sold a bow tie. See right here, we sold this shirt. This shirt, I thought this was a bad buy. Even though it's new with tags, it does have this bank on it. You see right there, but hey, it sold fairly quickly for $38. So not bad. I even listed it as something with defects because, and I put in the modification description what it has, if there's any like golf course or anything on it. But that was one of the things. I mean, I was surprised to sell that. And then another Peter Millar, just golf shirt, 26. Pair of these Vineyard Vines swim trunks. I've had these a long time. I was actually, when they sold, I go, oh, do I still even have those? One of those deals. I was like, oh boy. These pair of Hugo Boss black tuxedo patent leather shoes. I picked these up in New Hampshire not too long ago, and I was actually surprised these sold. I paid $6 for these. Like these sold for $67. These sold, and I don't want to get into where it shows the guy's name, but they didn't take that long to sell. Sold a Robert Graham shirt. I mean, Robert Graham's kind of done, but still got $30 for it. Incotex pants. These are really good men's dress pants. This was a linen and cotton blend. You see right there, that nice color stands out. Your regular Brooks Brothers shirt, $22. So I mean, I do sell cheap stuff. Trust me. Did I just press a different thing? Oh yeah, there we go. Then there's like this Brioni men's jacket. I've had this every bit of 6 months. It sold for $150. Another Peter Millar golf shirt. $30. I just listed that one not too long ago. Vineyard Vines kind of, for me, it's not a brand I pick up really too much anymore, just because the value of it doesn't seem to be selling that well for me. That sold for like 30. A lot of our stores have those priced up. This was a kind of a bad buy. I paid up for these because they were really nice condition. These Allen Edmond shoes, but they were big size, and this model, for whatever particular reason, just does not sell well. These are a size 14. The Back Bay just did not sell really that well, but they did sell eventually. A Peter Millar sweater, some other things here. Really high-end men's bespoke men's suit was actually was $300. Tommy Bahama shorts. So you can see some of the summer stuff is selling now, like golf clothing and stuff like that. Still selling some suits and sport coats, some jeans. Another really pair of high-end men's shoes, John Lobb. These sold for $300. Robert Graham shirt again, nothing too crazy. A floor steamer sold. Sold a camera. This sold in a day, and so did the hat. Actually sold in one day from listing it. So I mean, the camera I picked up, listed it, sold, boom. Tested it with some film, it worked. This was kind of a bad sell. I sold this for, you see the $64 there, that door. Because of the size of it and because it was going all the way to San Diego, California, it cost me like $30. I mean, I bought a bunch of this stuff for like $5. I've made probably $3,500 off of it, and I still got so much left. So it's, technically I'm not losing any money, but they weren't the best for free shipping, even though everybody else was doing free shipping on those things. But it happens. But that's it. I mean, it was good sales. I mean, a few of the sales don't come up for whatever reason. There was 30 items total, and for whatever reason, you just don't see all the sales. I have no idea why. If you ever go to your store, I wonder if that happens if you go through your sold listings, and certain things just don't show up. I think actually you delete things possibly by mistake or something. I have no idea how that happens. But if anybody has any little questions, big questions, whatever, I'll help you out. Whatever you need help with on the question mark there, give you some advice, or I don't even know what I'm talking about sometimes. Then I can get back to my listing of my computer games. Computer games. Gotta love them, right? Up and coming brands. I guess there's certain brands that are like harder to find because they're newer brands. Like they're only been out a few years, if that makes sense. And like what was, let me see here, something that we sold. Taylor Stitch is a newer brand. If you find some of the newer brands, they'll sell really well. Taylor Stitch is one of them. You put me on the spot, I can't think. But newer brands that haven't been around for long periods of time seem to sell well because there's not a lot of them on eBay. People don't want to pay the new price, but they're willing to pay like 50% of new price for something, or even sometimes higher, because it's a well-made item and they want to pay for it. Let me see here. The high-end shoes, are you getting them from Goodwill? The Hugo Boss ones were from a Goodwill in New Hampshire. The John Lobb I got from a Salvation Army. I seem to get shoes just anywhere. Just depends. When I think of some of our higher price shoe sales, we get them from every store. I've found some in Savers, everywhere. I mean, it doesn't small thrift stores, just shoes that you tend to find. I'll do better when I find somebody that they donated a whole bunch of them, and that's when I love it. When you come across like 5, 6, 7 shoes, but shoes are something I really don't pick up because I really don't like to clean shoes. I don't like dirty shoes when I pick them up. So I'm somebody that when I go sourcing, if something looks like it needs a lot of work or it needs to be cleaned or it needs to be dry cleaned, so on, etc., I usually will not pick it up. It's just something I'll stay away from for the most part. And that's just it. But shoes you tend to buy anywhere. Tennessee Picker, do you think you can maintain your lead in fantasy baseball this week? Over you, I'm leading you, but if you looked at our numbers, both our teams are really bad this week. Really bad. Like anybody else, probably I would be getting my butt whipped. I mean, our teams are not really doing that well. Where's the app? What are we doing? Like our teams are both doing garbage. My batting average for my baseball team this week is 222. Yours is 162. Like that's not winning anything anywhere. And our ERA is mine's 698 and yours is 922. Like, where is that considered good? There's still 5 days left in the week. It'll be pretty hard to maintain. We both can't be that bad this week, so who knows what's gonna happen? But we'll see. It'd be nice to win, actually. I think like there's like 4 teams, only 14, or Lonnie. I don't even think Lonnie's probably set a lineup, and he's doing pretty good. Let me see here. Finally catch you live. I'm trying to learn some men's dress shoe brands. What are your top 5 that are easy to find and sell for over $50? Also, what are 3 that you wouldn't mind picking up? Start with the 3, I guess you wouldn't mind. I wouldn't pick up 3 that I wouldn't pick up. Cole Haans. For whatever reason, Cole Haans. I think there's certain models of Cole Haans that do fairly well, but overall, Cole Haans usually do not do well for me, and they are usually priced up at our thrift stores. Another 2 brands that people talk about that I have absolutely no luck with those shoes, and for some reason they are usually priced over $10 at our thrift stores, if not more, are Clark's and Bourne, and I just can't sell them. I even will say because our thrift stores price them up also is Doc Martens. Unless they're the boots, I don't pick up Doc Martens because our thrift stores price the crap out of them. And they don't seem to bring as much as they used to in my mind. I'm not in the market of picking up shoes for $10 to sell them for $30, $35. Now, if I can buy it for $2 or something, or under $5 possibly, but when I start, our stores start getting a little crazy. There's a pair of shoes they had there the other day priced for $30. Like if it was a regular boot price, $8, I wouldn't mind buying them. I think they were, I don't remember what they were now. I remember they looked nice until I picked them up. But dress shoes to pick up, top 5 probably be like Salvatore Ferragamo's. For the most part, do extremely well. Almost any style will do well. Allen Edmonds, most models will do well. Some of the older models or non-current models will sign a sit sometimes. Like I just showed one a few minutes ago, the Back Bay does not, even though it's a good-looking shoe, for some reason certain models sell better than others. Like the Fifth Avenue, Park Avenue ones sell really well, but certain ones don't. Any shoe made in England is usually a good buy. Look it up. Anytime you see anything made in England, you got Trickers, you got um, Edward Green, you got Crockett and Jones. If you see any of the Ralph Lauren made in England shoes, usually you can pick them up, and they usually sell for pretty well. I sold a pair a few months back for over $200 that were they didn't look all that great. They were a loafer shoe, but they were made by Crockett and Jones, and they were shell cordovan. Shell cordovan is actually, if I remember right, freaking leather made from a horse's ass, or it's made from a horse. Horse's ass, is it? I don't remember, but it's made from a horsey horse. And it's more durable. It's more. I don't know what it is. 100% what makes it so much better, but those do really well. Aldens are really well. It's New England made shoe. There's a lot of good shoes. It's just some of them you don't even come across very often. Um, Best men's clothing to sell in the summer: golf stuff and shorts. I think yesterday I sold one, two, three. I think I sold 3 golf polos. If you can find decent golf brands and you can get them cheap enough, like shoes and stuff like that, they'll sell. Shirts, I mean shirts, golf shoes. The dry fit pants and the dry fit. If you got to find the right brands though. Brands like Peter Millar, or you want to stay away from cotton. Cotton's kind of done. Nobody uses cotton really too much anymore. Trying to think. Shorts do well. I mean, I got some shorts that been up for months, no action, and all of a sudden, as soon as late spring started coming around, like last month, I sold a bunch of Brooks Brothers shorts. They weren't big money, but I was into them for like a half off day for like $250, and they sold for like $25 and $30 or something like that. So clothing sold is way down. Clothing is terrible in the summer months. Clothing is terrible, and I'm thinking about somebody's contacted me a few weeks back about buying a huge lot of stuff, like literally to where I'd probably like triple my inventory. I have like 650 things listed. I think they have like 2,000 pieces are listed. They haven't listed. What concerns me is they haven't listed on eBay in like 2 years. So I'm kind of very curious about like the condition of your clothing. If you just and is a lot of it, if you never really did well with clothing and now you're trying to sell me your clothing, how good is the stuff? I'd have to travel to get it because it is a lot of stuff. I think I'd have to rent a trailer. I don't think I could fit 2,000 pieces in my Suburban. Um, so it gets me really confused. It's Johnson and Murphy, a high-end shoe. I see those a lot. I don't know if I would consider them a high-end shoe. They're a good shoe, but like anything, the models, it just depends on the shoe and the style and the model. I haven't picked up a Johnson and Murphy in a while because once again, I have to buy by how our thrift stores are. Now, if you're going to someone like going to the bins or the Goodwill outlet, whatever you want to call it, those will you pick them up for $2, of course they're a good buy. Even if you could probably pick them up for under 5, and it's a really good style and the shoe's really good condition, it's probably a good buy. But for like us, my thrift stores, probably $10 all day for those shoes, and I've seen them as high as like 25. People do buy them at that price, but I can't. And there's probably people wanting to use the shoe, so it just goes by. It's not not good for me to pick them up at that price. Let me see here. Suits can do well. Oh, what someone's asking, what about men's suits? Men's suits, I mean, like somebody mentioned Oxford and Brioni. Oxford's does really well for the most part. It's probably the best American suit maker, I would say. If you find the newer labels, you're going to do a lot better. They have like a crest and everything like that, or Oxford crest. If you can find the newer styles, a lot of the stuff I tend to find are like made in the 90s. They're really heavy in the shoulder what do you call it? Shoulder pads, shoulder patches? No, shoulder patches. Oh, no, pads, shoulder pads. It almost, you know, a lot of those jackets from that era, you'll find Canali's kind of like, it depends on the labels. Like if you find the blue or the you know, label, it kind of depends on the style of the suit also when you're picking up things. And I've got a lot better into that. I passed over some Brioni stuff just because it was older, and I knew from my past experiences I cannot get good money for that stuff, and it sits a long time. A lot of time, being a newer reseller or a newer person selling clothing, you'll come across a brand which you know is really good, but you don't understand like certain styles. If you look at a suit and you see these really wide lapels and certain things like that, you know it's just it's not good. They'll have the spacing of the buttons. Look at there's the spacing and everything like that. You know, from, you know, what's in style somewhat, you know, more tight fit clothing now. Um, you'd be surprised. A lot of mall brands clothing actually does well in suits, like J. Crew and Banana Republic cannot be. It is not that bad of a brand. You can actually do fairly well. I've sold express suits before. It just seems to do well occasionally, and then some sit. There's certain lines and certain things that do really well. Let me see. I don't overlook J. Crew. I sell a lot of J. Crew stuff. It actually does really well. The Lovelow line is actually pretty good. We sold a suit not too long ago for like 120, and it had two issues. Had a rip, and it had the stitching oncoming done on one of the pants cuffs. So that was actually, I mean, I sold it and got good money for it. I wish it was better. Would have got it did a lot better. I just sold a nice Canali tie for good money. That sucker was loud. Most ties are. I just sold today. I sold two bow ties of all things. I had two bow ties and two bow ties sold. And they sold within. It was weird because they sold like within 15 minutes of each other, and one sold to Canada and one sold to England. And I was like, weird. I only have two bow ties. Every bow tie I find sells if it's a good enough brand. You know, I usually don't find many. I think I found a handful of bow ties that you could eat because most of the time they're unlabeled, so it's really hard to figure out who makes them. But I think and they're not big money, but when you pick them up for like $1.50 and you can sell a bow tie for $20, $30. Like today, the Ben Silver one I got $30 for. Brooks Brothers one I got like $20. Sold a Brioni one, got like 50, but that doesn't happen all the time. I just bought one lot of Hermes ties. Hermes ties are really good, but it's very hit or miss by the patterns on them. Some patterns do so much better than others, and I don't even know why it's like that, but they do well. But what else? But I actually like ties. If you looked in our store, I have about 100 ties listed. Ties have overtook about a sixth of my store, and if you count suits and sport coats, it's more than 50% of my store, which in a good few weeks here, I am gonna be having issues with selling. Like there's not gonna be really good week selling because that kind of stuff just does not sell in the summer. And I kind of know it, so I have to kind of get my shit together. Yard sales should be happening very soon. Very soon. Brimfield next week. Y'all ain't familiar with Brimfield. Brimfield is a antique, I guess you would call it an antique flea market in Western Massachusetts. Just it's kind of like in between Springfield and Worcester. Town is called Brimfield. That's why they have it there. And there's like 5 to 6 thousand vendors set up there. It's crazy. You could walk 10 miles in a day. It's crazy. My wife actually wants to rent one of those scooter thingies to get around. And I know as we do our RV thing, we've talked about doing a lot more of these kind of like things like that and sign shows and things and getting more into other kind of things to sell while we're on the road. So that's why we have looked at a bunch of different toy haulers. And I would love to have some type of vehicle to drive around those things. As the walking is nice, but when you start carrying multiple things, my wife actually has like this cart wagon thing I bought her. I don't think we've used it yet though. I wonder if she's gonna bring that. But I'm gonna get going just because that's what I gotta do. I gotta get back to work. But the crazy card, you did crazy with that stuff you got last year. Crazy, crazy. I love actually coming up on a what do you want to call it? Like a thrift store. And sometimes, depending on the thrift store, like our local thrift store, ties are like the first. Well, it's shoes and ties I see before everything else. So usually I'll take a look. I'm in there every day. I should do like Hustler Hacks does and just show like a week of me going into the same thrift store and showing what I get out if I get stuff every day. Because when you go in there and you look around and you kind of know what's new and what's not new just because you're there every day. There's certain times where I walk into the same thrift store twice a day. I'll go in like 11 and I'll go in like 6:30 before they close because they're open to 10 to, and I'm always there. It's like, did I miss anything? Because it's close to the house too. It literally takes me like 4 minutes to get there, 3 minutes. So it's not really that big of a deal. If I'm already leaving the house to get something, we poke my head in the door and see. And it's not. We don't have a big. Our Goodwills, except for the one big one in Boston, they are small compared to other thrift stores in other places. I don't know if that's due to real estate prices in Massachusetts or Rhode Island or in New England in general. Like they're small. Ronnie, you should consider buying a storage unit at auction. You would get addicted. There is no way. I shouldn't say there's no way I would buy a storage unit, but I already have a 10 by 30 myself, which is kind of full that I have to start getting rid of stuff. I should be probably there today because today is a beautiful day going through and just checking things, but I got to list stuff. I got 6 months. I got to clear a lot of stuff out of that storage unit. And a lot of it's just accumulation of junk. That stuff that I don't know why. My wife loves yard sales and she will pick up almost anything at a yard sale just because it's, oh baby, but it's $1. She got stuff that she bought for a few dollars that she's never used. Like this fondue thing, like it's not 1970, baby. We're not melting cheese and feeding each other. Like, no. Chocolate fountain thing, oddball things that she's never gonna use. But oh dude, I got tons and tons. The list sounds like time for both of us to have a yard sale. I would have a yard sale, but our condos don't allow us to have yard sales. We had to actually have yard sales at somebody else's house. We did one year, but Even a lot of stuff we had didn't sell. Like I heard a whole bunch of train things. I just didn't want to list on eBay. I picked it up for like $5 from somebody, and it was like probably a few $100s of stuff, and had $20 on it at the yard sale. Nobody bought it all day. It was just like Lionel trains. There's engines in there and all kinds of stuff. And I sold it to some guy that does train stuff for like $75. Like no clue. No clue. Just calling him off of Craigslist. Like, yo, I got some train stuff. You want it? Let's meet in the parking lot and make the deal. Oh, there's the clothing hater right there. I see a clothing hater. There's a clothing hater. Bad, bad. I'm gonna call Lonnie the clothing hater. Lonnie and Ronnie are gonna have a fight to see who belongs with the ing. Yeah, with who has ownership of the name. Well, you do sell jeans, Lonnie. I've seen you sell jeans, and you've come across some interesting jean jackets in the past. You do sell a lot of shoes. Does he wear the women's shoes though? That's the question. Hmm. Hmm. There's actually, I don't even know if I should be saying it. Nah, I'm not going to say this. It's about somebody else. It's not good. Not good. What's up, Thrift Mind? How you guys doing? But I got to get going because I got some works to do. But I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good day. See you guys. Adios, amigas, amigos.